Hello, everyone. As you can see, I'm coming to you from a little bit of a different place this morning. I am out in my garden, and I'm sorry this is a little early. I accidentally uh, pressed the start button. So here we are. But of course, there's no better time to be out in the garden than relatively early in the morning. And today we're not expecting a really high temperature, just 73 degrees. So it is very, very pleasant out here. And I've just been around the garden doing some watering and also getting ready to lay some more mulch in the garden. And I love watering by hand. Firstly, it helps because I have got a huge number of pots. Let's see if I can show you a few of those just around here. You can see some of my pots, and going in the other direction, even more pots over here. Um, and let me tell you that one of the best places for buying pots, if you like nice decorative pots and if you like to garden in pots as I do, is on Facebook Marketplace. It's a great place, though the temptation to buy more than you should is huge. But all that as an introduction to the fact that I love to water by hand. Ever since I read Reflections on the Garden that by Vegan Gurion, and I probably mispronounced his name, so I'm very sorry, his book Inherited Paradise, when he talks about the fact that every watering of the garden is like baptism. And it's true, the refreshment, the renewal that watering brings is a delight to watch. But also, I know that watering your own garden rather than letting the irrigation system does it has many other wonderful benefits. Firstly, it uses less water. And we're getting ready for what we were expecting will be a pretty dry summer. And it's possible that we will have watering restrictions. And of course, watering restrictions mean that we can't use irrigation systems. And to me, as I said, in many ways, that's a delight because it means we do need to water by hand. We need to baptize the garden, maybe not every day, but every few days. Um, and the next thing is that as I walk around the garden, I notice things that I don't normally notice. Like this morning, I noticed that the first of my dahlias is fully flowering. And another thing that I keep noticing is that, and you may not be able to see it very well, the crocosmia here. Let's see if I can get it so that you can see it. The crocosmia here, not fully in bloom yet, but I am watching with delight as it develops. And there are other things around the garden that are like that. The lilies are all in full bloom at the moment, and I will put up a number of photos of lilies to go with this on my Substack. But my absolute favorite that you can see over here at the moment, again, it doesn't show up so well. Let's see if I can walk over to it. Is this lily here? Isn't it beautiful? And in the not too distant future, my stargazer lilies will be out. And so this is lily season. The Peruvian lilies are in full bloom. And they will take over the garden, or at least here in Seattle, if you let them. So there are orange Peruvian lilies all down the side of the house. We've pulled out some of them, but I just love them because they're such a beautiful lily. So watering the garden myself, baptizing the garden every day, and of course, baptism is a symbol of the Spirit and in many ways a symbol of the life that God gives us. And I really feel that as I wander around the garden. It is a symbol of the life that God gives us as we water it and as we enjoy it. Because to be honest, when I just irrigate the garden at one point in time and didn't hand water, I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I do when I hand water it and when I am able to delight in every single thing that I'm watering. Yes, sometimes it can be a bit of a strain, particularly when the weather gets very hot. But I do things that help it to need less water. As I mentioned, I mean, I'm getting ready to put down some extra compost and some mulch on all my dahlias. I'm also getting ready over this weekend. I'm hoping that I will get round and I'll put little gravel on a lot of the pots. And that has two advantages. Firstly, it deters some of the pests that like to get into the ground, even when it is summer like this. I think it's because they're looking for coolness. And of course, the place they can find coolness is in the places that I water, and therefore my favorite plants sometimes get a little disturbed by the different creatures that are wandering around the garden. But it's still an absolute and utter delight. And I hope that you too, those of you that are gardeners, will take time to get out and water by hand, even if you don't have water restrictions. Uh, and but just to enjoy the delight that watering brings. It's also a great way to notice the weeds that need to be pulled. And I must confess that sometimes my watering of the garden is extended because I get distracted by pulling weeds when I am meant to be focused on watering. But that too is a delight. So that's why I love watering the garden by hand, this sense of baptism, this sense of sorry about the planes overhead. We are now under the flight path to Seattle Tacoma Airport. And part of the annoyance, therefore, is sitting outside, there's often a lot of background noise. But getting back to it, what are the benefits of being out in the garden and watering yourself? Firstly, that is the sense of baptism, renewal that watering brings, not just to the garden, but to me as well. I feel a real sense of renewal as I go round and I water my garden. Secondly, it's a noticing thing to do. I had somebody watering my garden over the weekend, a couple of weekends ago, and they said to me, I hadn't noticed. And they gave a whole long list of the things that they'd noticed because they were out watering. And I thought, yes, that's one of the other benefits of watering gardens by hand is we notice things. We might notice flowers, as I tend to do. We might notice pests. We might notice weeds. All of this important to the life of the garden. The third thing is that it helps us value water in a way that we don't often do when we just have irrigation systems down. Because it says every drop of water is precious. I want to make sure that this water does a job that is valuable, not just something, kind of, let's water everywhere. But it says this place is valuable and this drop of water is valuable. And I want to show its value by going out and hand watering, just like baptism is so valuable. And we know that. And it's something we cherish all our lives, I think, when we've been baptized. But it's also this water baptism in the garden that is important too. Um, Lots of other benefits as well, but that's probably a good place for me to start to stop because I don't want these to go too long. But in the comments, please consider putting what are the benefits you find to hand watering. Even my indoor pots. Have to go around and water those, and boy, do I have a lot of them. In fact, I'm in the process of bringing many of them outside so that they too can enjoy the outside and hopefully they can enjoy the beauty, not just not the beauty, but the delight of fresh air and fresh water being put on them too. So tell me, what is it that you enjoy about watering the garden all the time? And also, let me know if doing this outside works for you, because I've often thought about doing it outside, but because of some of the distractions in the background, I don't know how well it comes across. So I need some feedback from you. How well does this come across when I'm outside, not just enjoying the garden, but unfortunately not enjoying the planes that keep going overhead? I think on an average of one every 4 minutes at this time of the day. So, anyway, blessings on you. Get out. And if you don't have your own garden, go and enjoy one of the local gardens around you. Because there's so much that's in flower, at least here in the northern hemisphere at the moment. Though in the southern hemisphere too, there are still things that are flowering because of the milder weather. So go out and enjoy the garden, either your own or somebody else's, or the public gardens that are close to you too.